Hello everybody, welcome to the upteenth video where I respond to Rob Walker's 2023 uh, vinyl tag. This is the big thing that happens at the beginning of every year in the vinyl community on YouTube, um, where it's just easy questions to showcase deeper albums in your collection and maybe to get some newcomers to uh, get some inspiration to start their own channel or record their first video. So I'm not going to waste any time. Rob has 20 questions he wants us to answer, and I'm going to try to zip through this. So number one, favorite new release of 2022. I should go ahead and say like and subscribe, all that stuff. I don't ever say that at the beginning of my videos. Please do that. Thank you. Best album of 2022 for me, Now and the Evermore by Colin Hay, the former lead singer of Men at Work, and fantastic record. I've talked about it too much, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. That was my favorite. Uh, an album by the last band or solo artist you saw live. Well, that would be Sir Elton John. This is his 11/17/70. This was a gift from my dad earlier this year. Dad and I went to go see Elton John. Actually, I'm incorrect in the last artist that I saw live. I'll talk about Elton John. Um, because I have the album. This was the last big concert that I went to at a stadium with my dad for the Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour. It was fantastic. I did a review on it. Check it out. But the last artist that I saw live would have been Dory Freeman. I saw her in November at the Floyd Country Store in Floyd, Virginia. Americana singer-songwriter from Galax, Virginia. Um, all around great talent. She likes, she sounds like Brandi Carlile meets Joni Mitchell, I would say. So, Dory Freeman. Sorry, Elton. Number three, their first album was the best. An artist whose first album was their best. Head and the Heart. It's their debut. Although I like all their albums, they're almost all in the same playing field for me. Various styles. This is the album that I fell in love with originally. Folky, indie, great harmony, acoustic, and I swear up and down by this album. So that was their best. A hat trick, show 3 different formats of an album, a vinyl, CD, or record. I don't have anything remotely close to a hat trick, so I thought I would just be boring and show 3 different copies of the same album. I'm going to be showcasing the album Headquarters by the Monkees. This is the Monkees original studio albums box set. The reason I got this was for these 2 albums right here, which are no longer in print on CD, but Headquarters is one of the albums. Little sleeves, and there it is. There's the standalone CD put out by Rhino. Monkees Headquarters got a couple extra bonus cuts from 2011. And then the newest box set that I've unboxed, the Monkees Headquarters with all the different bonus tracks. Beautiful sounding set. An album that starts and ends with the same letter. I chose the letter Y. What's today's letter, kids? Y. Younger Than Yesterday by the Byrds. This is their 4th studio album. Their last full length with David Crosby. And the last full length with David Crosby and Michael Clark. No, just David Crosby. Excuse me. Sorry. Before Notorious Bird Brothers. That's the word. This is my favorite of the Jangle era Byrds. So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star, Have You Seen Her Face, Time Between, My Back Pages, Why. Love this album so much. An artist born the same year as you. Well, for those of y'all that know, I don't really go for the modern music all that much. So this was very hard to find somebody in my collection that shares the birth year. I could have chosen Justin Bieber. but I don't have any Justin Bieber. I could have chose Halsey. I don't have any of hers. I could have chose Harry Styles. Don't have any of his. One artist that I would have picked to show is a fellow by the name of Jake Bugg. He is I want to say he's from Manchester, England. He's same lines as like Oasis and Blur. He definitely takes a lot of that Brit pop and kind of runs with it. So Jake Bugg is who I would show. But again, I don't have anybody from my year, which is 1994, in my collection. However, I'm going to show this album, which is, what's it called? Downhill from Everywhere. I'm trying to read it backwards. By Jackson Browne. This was his latest album that came out in 2021. The reason I picked this album is not because somebody from 1994 plays on it, but in the song My Cleveland Heart, which is my favorite song on the album, in the music video, one of the musicians in the video, one of the people acting, is named Phoebe Bridgers, and she was born in 1994. So I thought I would stretch it because I wanted to show something. So there you go. Sorry, Justin Bieber. Sorry, Harry Styles. Yeah, anyway. Most listened to album in 2022. I just did a video on this. Lavender Days by Camp. Love this album. Most listened to artist by landslide, Bob Dylan in 2022. Finally got this album in 2022. Very Tex-Mex. Los Lobos are on this album in the background. Together Through Life. Really, really good album. I need to spin it again. An Australian band. Well, these guys aren't necessarily Australian. However, they got their big break in Australia, and that would be the Bee Gees. And this is the only full-length Bee Gees album that I have that's not a compilation. This is Cucumber Castle, which was from a TV special of the same name. This was the one album where Robin Gibb broke off from the group and decided to pursue a solo career, put out an album. This came out in 1970. Really, really good, folky kind of album. Barry Gibb sings wonderfully on it. And it's amazing how young these guys are. I think Barry's like 24 and Maurice there's 21 or so, and they look ancient. I.O., The Lord, Sweetheart, Bury Me Down by the River is beautiful. Check this album out, Cucumber Castle. A surprising album, surprising purchase of 2022. That would be this one. Mark Tremonti sings Frank Sinatra. This is Mark Tremonti of Creed and Alter Bridge, who did a charity album, this one, and he croons like Sinatra and plays with a lot of the guys that played with Sinatra, and it's a fantastic record. It made my list of favorite cover albums of 2022, so there you have it, kids. An artist or a band that you're complete on, and I'm just considering solo albums, studio albums. Thank you to my friend Rich Strickler. Eagles became one that I became complete on this year. This is their last album from the original run, The Long Run. Everybody knows that. Seven Bridges Road is not on this. Heartache Tonight, In the City, I Can't Tell You Why, The Long Run. This was still a pretty big album, even though the Eagles were falling apart as a entity. A great run of 3 albums. I'm going to choose an artist who only had 3 albums, and Jeff Witcher will be proud of me. Nick Drake, 5 Leaves Left, Brighter Later, and Pink Moon. English singer-songwriter, a man surrounded in mystery and heartache. I love Nick Drake. He is go-to autumn listening music for me, and his 3 albums are pretty near perfect. So, Nick Drake. An 80s soundtrack. Xanadu, ELO, and Olivia Newton-John. I could have shown Olivia Newton-John for my Australian, but I think she's been shown several times. So, Xanadu. Somebody we lost in 2022. I'm going to go a little different here. I'm going to go with a fellow by the name of Robert Morse, who was a voice actor, and he had some theater background, I believe, and singing. A lot of you might know him as the main boss on Mad Men. He was the older gentleman on Mad Men. But he was also the voice of one of my favorite Christmas specials. He was the voice of Jack Frost in the 1970s by Rankin Bass. And Yeah, Robert Morse passed away, I think in his late 90s, early 90s, late 90s. So just thought I'd be a little different there. All right, a disappointing album from 2022. Randall Nelson knows what this is going to be. What's it going to take? Van Morrison. Absolutely horrendous album. I'm not going to get into what it's about, but let's just say Van Morrison hasn't been a fan of the last 2 years, and he shows it in this album. So that's all I'll say about that. I'll probably never listen to it again, to be honest with you. A non-vinyl purchase. Well, as you've seen, I haven't shown anything that is vinyl, so I'm going to reverse this, and I will show a vinyl purchase. So hopefully this counts, Rob. I got this beautiful box set, McCartney. This is the McCartney box set that came out earlier this year. It combines the 3 solo McCartney albums. So there's McCartney 2, and what comes after 2, kids? McCartney 3. That's right. And it came with some cards as well, with some notes from Sir Paul himself. And this was a really good deal. When it was announced, I was like, why on earth would anybody buy that? You know, everybody that is a collector already has these records. But then I was thinking to myself, and I said, well, I don't have those records. So I picked it up. It was under $100, and pretty good deal, to be honest. If you figure each album's about $30 a piece, and you get this nice box. So that's my vinyl purchase. A grail that I found this year. Is that right? Yeah. No, is that right? Yeah, found a grail. This is the Monkees Blu-ray box set. This has been out of print for some time, and the Monkees website put it back up, and it's all the albums. I mean, all the shows. A nice booklet, and it comes with a single as well of Star Collector. So I'm really happy to get that, and it wasn't, you know, exuberant in price. Like right now on eBay, it's like $500. I didn't pay that. Nowhere near that. Space themed album or song. I'm gonna go with ELO, obviously Jeff Lynne's ELO, specifically Wembley or Bust. This is the DVD and concert film. Obviously there's the ELO spaceship over top of Wembley in London. There is Mr. Fro Shades himself. Very well produced concert. Jeff Lynne is a marvel how he still sounds exactly the same. Show some VCLT. Well, I'm going to show one from my buddy Rich Strickler. He gave me this album when we were doing our classic albums ranking series, which we're still doing. We're just on hiatus. This is the Cars debut. We did this with Aaron Mutha Alamayer. So thank you, Rich. Rich gave me a bunch of VCLT this year. I can never repay him. And lastly, show an album released 50 years ago, 1973. I'm going to go with my guy, John Prine, looking so cool and hungover in this picture in his jeans. This is Sweet Revenge. It's got Sweet Revenge, Please Don't Bury Me, Christmas in Prison, Dear Abby, Grandpa Was a Carpenter, Mexican Home, 9 Pound Hammer. Love it. So there you go, Rob. I've really enjoyed watching everybody's videos. I'm still catching up. Let me know what y'all think. I had some good ones here. And I'm excited to see what kind of videos are going to be coming up in 2023. So please subscribe, like, all that stuff. Let me know what you think. In the meantime, y'all be good. Take care. And I will talk to y'all real soon. Bye now.